Well, today we continue our discussion on Kriya Yoga techniques. And again, so difference between different schools and branches of Kriya Yoga. And in tradition of my Guru Yogi Ramach, we have 18 big meditation techniques. And in a classical Lahiri Baba tradition, or sometimes we call it Svyatoslav tradition, it's like also they have so many techniques, and the question is, what is the difference, what is the similarity, and what about Kichari Mudra and Mahamudra, etc. Okay, as I already told it quite many times, that because we speak about Kriya Yoga, which is extremely ancient tradition, and we can be sure that it's at least few thousands years old, but okay, because of Yoga Sutra, because of Bhagavad Gita, because of Vijnana Bhairav Tantra, so ancient scriptures, they already speak about Kriya Yoga. But even if we'll just forget about ancient scriptures, let us take only since 19th century, actually Lahiri Baba's time, even since 19th century, it's we have so many kinds of and branches of authentic Kriya Yoga which came into field in the beginning of 20th century, in the end of 20th century. So, and some similarities are there. And actually, if it is like authentic Kriya Yoga, some similarities for sure we can see. But difference also natural, and it must be not confusing. Okay, about Kichari Mudra, the special position of the tongue. Strict approach is that, some preliminary techniques it is possible to learn even if you can't manage complete Kichari Mudra. Some preliminary techniques. But for the advanced course, of course, it is necessary to be able to keep tongue in a perfect Kichari Mudra position. And actually, I'm absolutely sure that now in the 21st century, some of the gurus from Lahiri Baba family tradition and Yukteswar tradition, they really keep this strict rule. But most of the gurus, they are not. So it means if you can't practice complete Kichari Mudra, they give advanced techniques as well. More than that, the huge discussion even now going on about what about Yogananda Paramahamsa, who came to the United States 1920, and he actually almost didn't mention about Kichari Mudra at all. Of course, rumors are there that for the small bunch of close disciples, he gave this knowledge about Kichari Mudra. But anyway, for the public and for the most of the disciples, it was no even mentioning about Kichari Mudra. So, but at the same time, he was teaching people different levels of Kriya Yoga, even no Kichari Mudra at all. And in the case of Yogi Rama, his approach was very gentle and a soft one, if you wish. That, of course, if you wish to practice really and seriously, you have to reach Kichari Mudra, you have to be able to keep tongue in a perfect Kichari Mudra position. Then any techniques, by the way, any techniques will become like more powerful. Even simple Hatha Yoga, like it's like not mentioning about meditation of Kriya Yoga, just any Hatha Yoga asanas or physical postures, any so-called simple pranayamas like Ida Pingala pranayama or Anuloma Viloma pranayama, they also become more powerful, much more powerful if you're able to manage Kichari Mudra in a complete form. But at the same time, even if you may keep your tongue only in again, let us say, preliminary positions, the most like basic positions, even in this position, Yogi Rama could give more advanced techniques. If we or when we speak about Yogi Rama, better to remember that actually his approach to the Kriya Yoga and just the message about Mahadar Babaji was a very much strange one. And for years and years, starting with 50s and 60s, basically he was openly speaking about the fact that he was direct disciple of Mahadar Babaji and Nagaraj Babaji and Gorakhnath Babaji. But as we know, he actually gave complete system of Kriya Yoga and Bijamantra only to very, very limited number of disciples, and most of the disciples could learn only so-called preliminary techniques, including Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, which is actually even not the beginning of the main part of Kriya Yoga, and now quite again many schools and traditions they think that Kriya Yoga is actually Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, which is not. But if Yogi Rama anyway choose to teach somebody complete like a set of exercises, then it was always personal, and if we'll speak about the difference between these 18 huge techniques, huge in the size and the meaning actually, which are the core of Yogi Rama tradition, 18 techniques. What is the difference if we'll just discuss Yukteswar Kriya Yoga or Lahiri Baba Kriya Yoga? Well, let us start with a very divinely tricky question. What kind of Kriya Yoga Lahiri Baba himself was practicing? And that's a big question. Many disciples of Lahiri Baba tradition or Yukteswar tradition, they say, okay, come on, we know actually what he was practicing. But that's really not the case. Because he was practicing much greater number of techniques and which he received from Mahadar Babaji, but his disciples knew only small part from what he himself was practicing. So that was also a very interesting point. And the huge difference is as we can try to analyze this pretty much complicated question. Of course, Yukteswar and Lahiri Baba tradition mainly they work with 7 chakras, and then just they go into the top two chakras, which are like Ajna chakra and Sahasrara chakra. But for the Yogi Ramayana Kriya Yoga tradition, that's only, you know, okay, half of techniques really deal with 7 chakras, as you know, actually. And then we start to, you know, we have quite number of meditation techniques which are about 3 bindus, okay? And such perfect and detailed work with 3 bindus is absolutely absent in Lahiri Baba and Yukteswar Kriya Yoga. So, but in a tradition which Yogi Ramayana received from his masters, Himalayan masters, we work with the 3 bindus quite a lot. Also about 2 hearts, spiritual heart and the physical heart, and we have again, okay, number of techniques which include this so-called spiritual heart and so-called physical heart, and that's really important. Why I say so-called? Because actually both hearts are spiritual, but just one of them is the right side one and another one left side. So in a sense, you know, it's wrong to say that such a great traditions like Lahiri Baba Kriya Yoga or Yukteswar tradition are not complete. It's wrong to say, because if we take just history of 20th century, we may easily mention really a lot of great yogis which are part of Yukteswar and Lahiri Baba traditions. So that's proof that, okay, Yogananda, Yukteswar, Rabindranath Sanyal, Lahiri Baba himself, huge great yogis. But at the same time, you know, it's always divinely tricky question, you know, what they really knew about Kriya Yoga and what they gave to the next generation of disciples. Again, and if you ask me the question, okay, why it's happened that, for example, Lahiri Baba practiced really much more than he gave to his students and disciples, I don't know. That was part of his mission, to practice more and to teach much less. And if you take his disciples, okay, what we have right now, okay, Sri Yukteswar, he really established huge line, huge tradition. And also Lahiri Baba's children, Tinkori Lahiri and Dukori Lahiri, they also established huge tradition. But the question is, what's happened with other great disciples of Lahiri Baba? I mean to say Rabindranath Sanyal, I mean to say like Ram Gopal Mazumdar, I mean to say, you know, we know many names. Swami Pranavananda. What's happened with that, you know, lines of gurus, and what kind of Kriya Yoga, you know, they knew, they received from Lahiri Baba. That's huge mystery, actually. You know, it's the same like, okay, Yogi Ramayana in 50s and 60s, so in the middle of 20th century, he spent really years in Himalayas learning philosophy and meditation and mantras, bijamantra tradition from immortal Mahatmas. But the question is, why all his life Yogi Ramayana spent as a kind of secret, unknown, private person, and it's also a huge mystery. Yeah, you know what's happened right now in the 21st century. People proclaim that they are direct disciples of Mahatma Babaji. They try to attract more disciples, really crowd of followers. But Yogi Ramak was really very close disciple, but he was staying kind of secret. So it means we have a lot of questions and only few answers. Why it's happened like this, why it's happened like that. You know, after all, it's huge mystery. And anyway, Kichari Mudra is very essential for the Kriya Yoga meditation, and sometimes actually it's not, it's not a problem if people can't know about so-called advanced Kriyas even before they really able to practice Kichari Mudra. It's not a problem, okay, you can practice, why not actually? But just the point is that the power of all that techniques, of course, really start with the Kichari Mudra. That's always the point.